welcome you all, and on behalf of this occasion, I would like to invite Dr. Upendra Gami sir to give a welcome address.
Dr. Upendra Gami is the Secretary General of the organization Wellness, Health and You, the organization which has launched the age-friendly initiative in India and which has taken up vertical wings for the attaining the age-friendly India initiative. The vertical wings are a wing for the physicians called the Mera Swast Physicians Network, a wing for the general population, which has started a Elder for Elders campaign, and an institution wing, which is networking amongst all institutions to become elderly friendly. Today, we are starting with the training and updating for the physicians under the Mera Swast Physicians Network. And last time we sensitized all of you on the requirement of standalone clinics delivering elder-friendly health services. Irrespective of the specialty, all standalone clinics need to have sensitization and now today the tools for providing elder-friendly health services. So we, Pramod Gautam and myself, we invite Dr. Upendra Gami, the Secretary General of Wellness, Health and You, to give the opening remarks. Dr. Gami, please.
Thank you, Dr. Grewal. I welcome you all to this webinar on tools for communication and assessment for elder patients. We have two eminent speakers for this. I welcome Professor Jugal Kishore, Director, Professor and Head of Community Medicine at Vardhan Mahavir Medical College and Safdarjung Hospital. And other speaker is Mr. Nisar Ahmed, who is Executive Director, Envisions Institute of Development at Noida. I am overwhelmed by the numbers that have registered for this. That shows how keen the medical community is for taking care of the elders. We have to take care of the elders and make them independent medically, physically, socially, emotionally, mentally. That is what we should aim at. And along with that, I welcome the delegates, and Pramod, please take over from here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the warm welcome. And considering the enthusiasm that we have seen, the response that we have seen during the last webinar that we had, I mean, this time we are going to introduce two tools that you all are aware of. And this is the importance of having such tools is that this become a ready reckoner for you to refer these things during your assessment, how to move forward, how to take care of the patients when they are around, and a quick reference will help you. So in this regard, as Rami sir has said, I mean, we have got two faculties who will be addressing today. First, I would like to invite Nisar sir to tell us about this tool, and Nisar sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gautam. Thank you, Dr. Gami and Dr. Grewal, for giving me this opportunity. I will straight away give a brief summary of what we did last time. Last time when we met, we were talking about communication with the specific reference to the elderly people who visit our clinics. What are some special requirements which we have to meet with them in terms of the communication, their communication needs, and then contextualize our communication for their needs. So today, in a way, I'll be presenting a summary of that through a very simple tool, and we are calling it a self-assessment tool. So it's no outsider is making that assessment. The doctor herself, the doctor himself uses this simple tool to assess that where do they stand on these 10 checklist points. And then will come the next part, that then if all there is some scope for improvement, then what is it that will be done, that should be done. So I'll just share my screen and I'll share the tool with you. So last time we talked about the communication with elders in terms of the what are the protocols and how those protocols should be followed and all. And we also quoted this, that there is an art to a medicine as well as science, and the warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or chemist's drug. So the basic premise is that the warmth shown by the professional, the sympathy given by the doctor, and the understanding, that is more important than a medicine or a surgery. We talked about 4 simple things. So first part was we discussed that how do we greet patients, and in greet we talked of 3 things. So greet them with a smile, seat them in a quite comfortable area, and use touch to keep the patient relaxed and focused. Because when some touch, these actions, what you see, there is an action and then there are simple ratings. So against each of these actions, we are talking of 3 different levels, simple levels, minimum 1 and maximum 3. So end of the day, just sit quietly and think about 2 or 3 or 4 patients whom you met specifically, the elderly patients, and just put tick marks that where do you rate yourself? 1, 2, 3 against each of these actions. In Invest, we have allow extra time for older patients. Give the patient a chance to ask questions and listen without interrupting them. Again, 1, 2, or 3 against this. 1, 2, or 3 against 5. Sit face to face and maintain eye contact. This is that you are showing that you value that customer. So it's not that we all value them, but it should be shown. That's when the people get connected with us. They feel as if they are connected and there is warmth. So sit face to face and maintain eye contact. Again, please rate yourself whether you give yourself 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 3. Speak slowly, clearly, and loudly in short sentences and simple words. And take feedback to know if you have heard, if you have been heard or understood correctly. So taking feedback reinforces your communication with the elderly people. And the last was that empathize with them. We have empathy with them. So summarize the most important points in the end. Whatever discussions we have had with the patients, if there is a medicine which was given, then how that medicine which was prescribed, so how it should be taken, what could be the possible side effects. So just that important summary, important points, and say goodbye to end the visit. So everywhere we are saying that simple 10 points, and you are doing a self-assessment, giving you 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 3 against each of these points. So if you rate yourself 10, a 3 on all 10, so it's 30 out of 30, which maximum one can get. Or minimum, you will mark yourself 1 out of 3, which is total 10. Then at the end of the day, it will tell us that, okay, which is my area where my greeting part is the one which I need to strengthen, where my investment part into them, which requires further reinforcement, and so on. So this is a very simple tool, which we thought can be used by the doctor for a constant upgradation. So this is what the tool I had. I will email this tool to you, Deepika, and then it can be shared with everyone through the mail. With this, I hand it over back to Dr. Grewal and Dr. Pramod.
What Mr. Nisar Bhai has given today for all the attendees, remember, we are going to provide you with this tool, as Pramod has said, a ready reckoner. Now, it's important that communication with an elderly patient is different than communication with an ordinary patient. That is why there is a need to have a ready reckoner, jisko aap, you can refer back again and again. And remember, this is not the final document. As and when we put it into practice, we will get feedback from you all, how you utilized it, and what are the next steps over a period of time in the next 3 to 5 weeks. Nisar Bhai is going to work on this, and whatever feedback is given, more additions will be made to this communication tool. Because learning, like learning is a dynamic process, even teaching is a dynamic process. So there are certain things which will be basic rules, but application of this tool will need repeated updates to you. So we are going to start, and I offer you today, all of you, please, we would like to conduct a physical workshop on these two topics. We are wanting to have batches of 15 to 20. So kindly send in your names and phone number and email. The option, please send it back to email or SMS to us so that we can form the first batch. There we are going to use this tool in a practical workshop of how this tool will be used. So in case anybody has any questions now, or I think we can collect the questions, and Nisar Bhai, in case we do
we do have Dr. S.P. Kalra. He's raised his hand.
Please
So
go
you
ahead.
can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Please.
You have given very nice points. Now, my suggestion was the elderly person, we will be connecting only on this media, like webinar, or we'll be just talking on telephone.
No, sir. Our intention is that we are going to be empowering doctors to use this tool in their clinics. So we are not going to be connecting to elders. It is the doctors. It is you in your clinic who will be using this tool, sir.
But then the person or elderly physician or surgeon or whosoever our colleague needs our help.
Yes.
How to go about it? He should know that I am available for this. Say I am a diabetologist. I am available to give him consultation on diabetes or hypertension or thyroid. Like this, we should have a group where we are specialists in different branches, where can be of help to us, our colleagues. They may not have only one disease. They may have multiple diseases. They may have surgical. They may have medical. They may have a respiratory. So that we are able to give such correct advice to them.
Sir, what General Kalra sir, very nice suggestion. ये जो हमने ग्रुप बनाया है, मेरा स्वास्थ्य physicians group, who are updating themselves for elder care, because we have linked up with two organizations, sir, with Fortis and with IMOHA. We are going to propagate your names coming time in the maybe the newspaper and the media, that these group of physicians provide elderly friendly services. And therefore patients will come to know that this clinic is elderly friendly clinic. Hamara next step ye hoga, sir, that once we are able to have, today we are over 100 people here, we want to publicize the names and the clinics of all the physicians who are undergoing a training with us. We want it to be on media. Greater Kailash mein General Kalra's clinic provides elder friendly services. So that aapke neighborhood mein people who read that, they will be happier visiting a doctor whom they feel ki ye doctor to meri baat sunega. That's the goal, sir.
Okay, good.
Very good suggestion you've given. Dr.
May I, if Mr. Nisar is still here, may I ask him one?
Yes,
one suggestion.
Dr. Kami.
Mr. Nisar, this is a self-assessment sort of a thing that you have told. Why don't we have randomly similar questionnaire from the patient, so that we can assess ourselves also, that how the patient feels about it.
Excellent suggestion. Yes. But what I have done as of now, and to share with everyone, I have already shared it with through email with Dr. Deepika and Dr. Grewal. My request will be that if you can provide your feedback and then we finalize it, maybe you will suggest some changes, and based on the final document, Dr. Gami, then we will convert it for the patient side also.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
that will be a very good thing, and it will help building confidence with the patients. You know, when I am coming to your clinic and you give me a form, ke, "Acha, theek hai, you please tell me where do you rate me." So,
Yeah.
you know, that's a very good suggestion. And just I will
Last
take a minute
time
to,
Professor Jugal had expanded on this point also.
yeah.
We did discuss it. I think we will keep that in the pipeline. Dr.
Right.
Kalsi, would you like to ask your question, please?
Sir, I was asking that in general, the elderly patients don't want to get up. Even there are so many patients waiting for you and they are not satisfied. That is the problem.
आपने डॉक्टर कलसी आपने बात जो कही
जी.
ये सारा प्रोग्राम वहीं से उस बिंदु से शुरू होता है. I think you have hit the nail on the head.
I think I had given a suggestion last time that they should then have slots in their clinic only for elders. So that no
Not
other
that, open what Dr. Kalsi is saying. I think let's look at it with one little point that Dr. Kalsi has hit upon. कि जो elder patients है ना उनको लगता है मैंने अभी पूरी बात कही नहीं या डॉक्टर ने मेरी पूरी बात समझी नहीं, तो दे फील कि नहीं अभी नहीं डॉक्टर साहब मैं 2 मिनट और लूंगा आपसे 2 मिनट और लूंगा. Dr. Kalsi, I think that is what you're trying to say.
That is the right. Even the patients are waiting and they don't bother about it.
So I think
but as Mr. Nisar has said, that if you repeat and tell him, okay, that these were your problems, so then he will understand that yes, now I have got the.
I think what Dr. Kalsi has said, he has answered our purpose. Dr. Kalsi, this is exactly what we want to do, that physicians like you, we want to train you how to deal with that situation. Obviously, we can't say that you will sit with them for half an hour. जो हम आपको communication techniques समझाएंगे, unse you will find a solution to this issue where the elders don't want to go. Because there is a reason.
That is what we want to learn.
Yes, this is exactly the purpose of the training, that we want you to be trained how to handle the situations where elders need. Because देखिए जो नहीं जा रहा उसको आपने धक्का मार के बाहर निकाल दिया तो वो तो dissatisfied patient हो जाएगा ना.
Definitely.
So we have to find a solution with our technique that we are able to save your time and we are able to deliver satisfactory health services to him. That is the whole purpose of saying why elderly friendly services. So Dr. Kalsi, that is the root of what Dr. Kami is also saying. ये जो tool Mr. Nisar create कर रहे हैं, इस tool की improvement के बाद में इस tool को जब आप apply करेंगे, तो ये problem solve उसी में से निकलेगा. I think you have that is the basic starting of the whole program, that elders need special services. I think what we'll do, we'll take up some more questions. Nisar bhai, we'll have them together. And now Pramod, I think we'll invite the next speaker.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kalsi, and thank you, General Kalra.
Meanwhile,
thank you very much.
Yes, Deepika?
Yeah, thank you.
Meanwhile, those attendees who would like to ask the question, they can put their question in the Q&A box, which can be answered by the faculty right now or taken up at the end of the session.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Pramod.
Yeah. Thank you, Nisar sir. It was a very brief and, very prescribed thing that will help all of us, I mean, physicians to analyze themselves, that, how to deal with the patients and, what actually time, because of busy schedule at times, we are not able to provide that much time, which is needed for the elderly. So to continue, I think, we have got Professor Jugal Kishore sir. He is going to talk about the assessment. And I think, the questions that were raised, they will be answered in much better way, as we move ahead with Professor Jugal Kishore's presentation. Sir, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vinod. I'll just share my slides. Some are there. But we were discussing a very important topic, that is the communication. Actually, if you say communication is the only tool or only skills if we learn, then doctors become professional. Otherwise, they are not even doctors. I'm sorry to say, whole game is communication. Rather, they say the success of doctor depends on communication. It is almost 60-70% of it. Rather more than that is communication. That is why every doctor has to be very, very professional in communication. Anyway, I'll talk on basic assessment, and I'll not talk about the communication, but this is going to improve your communication if you actually focus on how to assess, not only just by the physical, but there are many methods by which you do the assessment. And it is starting from the point when he's sitting in your clinic. The patient comes, and then if he's elderly and he's sitting and waiting, then if you have you are viewing, or if you have a kind of camera and you are able to see people who are sitting, you start learning about that person, and you can find out many things. So that is true when we are teaching our student in community medicine. When we go the home, so our learning start from there. But here, because the patient is coming to you, so every step is important for you. Now, why we have to talk about this? Because not we have very many number of the geriatric specialists, and whoever we are, like they are eye specialist or ENT specialist or maybe cardiologist, they are getting the older patient, and they should provide their bit to have the comprehensive services to their client. And if it is elderly, then your responsibility increases. I'll tell you why. Because they are the more sufferer, and majority of the illness are now appeared in the age group which is focusing, or say coming under that bracket of the elder group. So if it is if you are saying the morbidity and mortality both are quite high in this group, so if we can focus, we can further prolong life. So the aim of our medicine is to prolongs one's life and a quality of life, and that is why this is important. So if you know what are the problem they are commonly facing, and all of us are actually in that bracket of elderly, so we all know what problems are arising in them and how we can understand them better. So it's a ischemic heart disease or stroke which are the main cause of the death and disability and the morbidity. Even in all part of the world, even in low income country like India, the number of ischemic heart disease is quite high as compared to other country. But if we say stroke and obstructive pulmonary disease and vision issues and dementia, they're all, you can see that they are there. So disability adjusted life year loss because of these problems in the elderly is quite high. Similarly, there are risk factors. So if we can focus on risk factor, these are the important point for our all doctors, whether it belongs to any discipline, that you have to control these all risk factors so you can decrease all the burden. And that is high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, overweight, obesity, low fruits, vegetables, physical inactivity, tobacco use and tobacco smoke. So you can see that in our country also we have large number of people who are having these all risk factors which are leading to, so we have to focus, and then if we can decrease them, and we definitely can do it. All doctors can play a role. The point is that why we have to have the elderly friendly health services. We have a legal reason because we cannot neglect anybody who is coming to us. We have ethical reason. If we are a doctor, we have to pay attention to a patient in a manner which should be satisfying their need, and not only just focusing on your issue but also on his issue. We have a moral duty to do it. We have a scientific proof that if we can focus on certain areas, we can decrease the morbidity and mortality. We can make our public more healthy. We have a rationality behind it. it is not just for the sake of focusing on elderly, but definitely we have humanity, reason for also we have to work on it. And remember, if he's coming to you, it is a opportunity for you to do a lot of intervention. Otherwise, a lost opportunity. That is why you should be thankful that the person has come, and you are able to diagnose many things which are easily can be done. So we again going back to our undergraduate classes where in medicine we used to teach that there are methods by which the clinical methods, nothing gadgets are required, but your touch, your smell, your feelings, your looking, all these things are very important. So there are core component in the geriatric assessment which every doctor can do it. One is a functional capability. So if he's coming, he's definitely having some function, and that is not deteriorated much, but definitely you have to see how much functions are there. So that makes sense. And otherwise, we have lot of faults and leading to a lot of problems. And majority of the problem arise because of fall in the bathroom or in home, and particularly the people who are above 60 years of age, and particularly after 70 and 80. Then cognition, mood, polypharmacy, social support system. Usually we don't talk about this. Social support, financial concern, and then goal of the care. That's a very important. Why he has come and how much he wants from you. So are you asking this much? That is also not there. And then can you link with higher center, or can you link with your colleague where he can provide better services on particular issues like urology, or maybe nephrology, or so you have a licensing with that. So in advanced care preference, you can definitely link with and provide the best services. So these are the core component in which you can focus one by one. Now this is the functional ability. At least you see that you can ask few questions like you can walk, you can bath easily, you can transfer things from here to there, you are able to eat yourself or dressing yourself, or you are able to play. These are the activities of daily living. So if you ask, then definitely that his functional life is quite good. Then these are the instrumental activities of daily living, that is cooking, cleaning, shopping, meal preparation, telephone use, laundry. Many a time some of them are not required for some people, but you can ask majority of them, managing money, managing medicine, ability to travel yourself, and sometimes they are able to drive the car, that's fine. So these are all instrumental activity which is easily can be identified just by talking. You can find out these all things. And then balance and fall, you can have some test. You can ask the person to get up from the chair, walk for 10 steps, and move around, and then walk back and return to your seat. So just it take few minutes, but a few seconds rather, you are able to see that the person has a balance and he will not fall, or when he's walking then he's comfortable. So the twisting, turning, they all create problem in an older person. So if you can find out, definitely you have to evaluate the person and send to higher center, or maybe to neurologist. Osteoporosis is a big problem. So if you have methods to get it, some of the assessment, then it is possible. Otherwise, you just see that whether the person is having good nutrition and exposed to sunlight or not. So that is the risk of the fall. Now, this cognition and mental health is, again, while you're talking, you can find out many things. You can ask few questions like, past life or past instances, and then a new one, and then you see how much he is reacting to. So there are, one for dementia, that is mini cognitive assessment tool, in which you have to give three, things unrelated to each other, like that ball, dogs, or pen, or something like that. You give like that, and then while you're talking, and he's telling the story or maybe history, so immediately after 10 minutes, you can ask, I told you something, or what were the things which I have said, or what are the words I have said. So that he has the recent memory and past memory. All these things can be detected. So particularly the recent memory can easily be detected from this. So there are a few, techniques are there which are able to detect cognitive mental functions. And the depression is the very simplest way of getting, we don't require, the cascades of the questions. Even few questions can easily be detected. Just, have you often been bothered by, your health, or maybe interest? You don't have interest in things which you used to do or get the pleasure. Just a simple thing. Nowadays you are not feeling good with your family, or maybe, so that is a point where आपका मन कैसे रहता है. I found this question very very interesting. Just आजकल आपका मन कैसा रहता है, ज्यादातर कैसा रहता है. तो एक क्वेश्चन बहुत चीजें आपको बता देता है. तो ये सब एक्सपीरियंस आता है. लेकिन आप वो क्वेश्चन अगर अपने उसके अंदर जो आपका इंटरव्यू है या आपकी डिस्कशन है उसमें रखते हैं, तो इमीडिएटली वो आते रहते हैं, और वो एक के बाद एक आने ही चाहिए. And these all things do not require many hours, or many minutes. Rather, in few minutes you can get all these things. Polypharmacy is a big problem in elderly. So it is the national and international concern that we should decrease as much as possible, because we have this antibiotic resistance. Many infections are coming in elderly because they have the polypathy or polypharmacy, leading to so many problems. So it is better to ask them what you are taking. Many times they are taking themselves, so that can easily be detected and find out. Next is this question again is very important. Their relationship. And really, actually, when you talk about their family, about their housing condition, about their ability to pay, then they become connected to you, and that's make the your communication so concerned and so important. And that is why this communication is nothing to do separately, but when you are doing the assessment, during that period only, you have all the skills together, and can find out all these things without any problem, and connected to the person very well. So when you ask about this family situation, housing condition, even very simple thing like mosquitoes are a big problem. Are you using some mosquito net or maybe some other method? So easy detecting that he has high risk or low risk, or availability of safe water supply or not. Then additional component can be the weight change, or nutrition. Urinary continency is a very very big problem in elderly. So you just ask if आपको ठीक से urine तो होता है, pass होता है, hesitancy तो नहीं है. They are also linked to so many disease also. Sexual function we afraid to ask, but I think this is the most important function which lead to many psychological and physical problems. And if you are asking and knowing that this is okay and perfectly fine, then I think this is helping you to assess the person. Vision, hearing, dentition, living situation is spirituality. They are all additional component. If you ask, much better. Rather, nutrition is the most important part, which should always be asked. Now, in nutrition, this is actually done in all the clinics, like the body weight, height, hemoglobin level. These all things can be assessed immediately, and find out what is the BMI, whether it is high or low. You can immediately say that this is your BMI, it is not good. You can change it, and you can have a target and start some kind of interventions. Now, I'll go through some of the questions which are actually you are doing all the time in your assessment. And these are coming back to your Hutchinson in third year. Again, I am just focusing on, if you just remember those all things and implement in your practice, whether you are whatever the discipline is, you are going to get a lot of information about the elderly. The vital sign like the blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate, temperature, in general, like unintentional weight loss or weight gain. Then head, you just look at his head, whether it's a asymmetrical, facial or extra ocular, muscular weakness or paralysis there. Immediately you find out a stroke, or maybe some partial things are there. Frontal bossing or temporal artery tenderness, these are there on the head. And when you are examining, you can touch some of the areas and see whether it is there. So while talking, you just keep, exploring things on the patient's and eyes, like eye pain, impaired visual acuity, loss of central, vision or peripheral vision. Ear, you just hear, you can look at the ear hearing loss, which is quite common in older person, which can be done by simple methods of closing one ear, or maybe other, or you have the many techniques by which you can do this hearing assessment. And then asking the open the mouth, throat, you just see that how much there, whether it's a pale or some kind of changes are there in the dentition, or then neck, carotid roots are there. So you just, if you're observant on the body part, then you know that thyroid enlargement is there, not there, nodular things are seen or not. In cardiac, you touch the person, and stethoscope you should put on the patient. Usually nowadays we don't do it, but I'll tell you that when you touch the patient, it gives so much, relief to the patient, and he knows that the doctor is looking at me, doctor is concerned about me, doctor examine me, and it will not take much time. While talking, you just, keep doing these all things like chest examination, shortness of breath. Just by observing, you can see these all things. You should also give importance to certain areas like the breast examination or maybe abdominal examination, where you find if the lady is there, then the mass of the breast can give rise to a totally different types of understanding. Then rectal and genital, like the constipation, fecal incontinency. While you are asking, keep asking these all things. Prostate enlargement, you can ask from the whether ultrasound is done, or he wants some ultrasound because his urinary infrequency and all these things are there. Then extremities like abnormality of the feet, or diminishing or absence of the pulses in the extremes, or if he has some pedal edema. So from top to bottom, you keep observing the person, and when he's coming, then you see the motion and see that how is correctly standing or not, or he has a pain somewhere, or he's a bending, or some body posture, or maybe muscles. You can see, just observe the whether muscle wasting is there or not. And you see the skin also. So skin, and you can ask whether in any part of the body some skin changes are there, or some ulcer is there. Like particularly in diabetes, we have so many problems with the leg. So the ulceration can be find out, and immediately we can do something. Otherwise, it is too late. And the neurological, like tremors or rigidity, can be identified. So if you're observant, and you know that what you are doing, that is very important. So assessment is not very big. You know what is required, and you can find out so many, problems, which is easily identifiable as a doctor, of any discipline. The general physical examination and assessment, is simple way of assessing the elderly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Book, I think if anybody wants more,
Yeah.
it's available.
Yeah, thank you for a very detailed and good snapshot of what all we have learned during our MBBS days, and these are the basics to be taken care of. And as Dr. Grewal sir has said, I mean, this is just an introduction of the tools, but as we move on, we would like to have workshop, and those who are interested to know more about understanding about these both the tools, we can organize a workshop and they can get registered, and then that will be the right platform to understand the detail and practice also, so that whatever it looks like a very big tool, it will become very familiar as we practice. So that will be really useful. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Questions we have?
Thank you, Dr. Mr. Nisar and Professor Jugal. It's important to understand. It's a aaj ki tarikh mein, unless and until you give a choice to the person to go to a place of his liking, you will not be able to make yourself accessible. So therefore, we are here today trying to tell you, okay, you have to be different from somebody else. And the only way you can be different is that people, when they look up, मैं किस doctor के पास जाऊं, they would prefer, an elderly would prefer to go to a doctor who is listed as a person who's providing elderly friendly services. Now, what Professor Jugal Kishore has just shown, it's not that ये बहुत देर time लगेगा. If you go back to your third year, I always tell people the first time you learned how to see the pulse rate, it took you nearly 5 minutes to find out कि pulse कहाँ है, हाथ इधर लगता है, हाथ उधर लगता है, and now you do it even with your eyes closed. So this, once you're tuned to do this assessment for an elder, you will be able to provide better services which are more comfortable and more acceptable to the person. The elderly, the WHO has declared that the health services are hostile towards the elders. So this is not my statement, this is not Professor Jugal Kishore's statement. WHO has said that your health services are hostile. Therefore, there is the need for health services to be elderly friendly. And how they can be elderly friendly is two ways, as Professor Jugal Kishore just said. Communication with the elder is different. So therefore, it's very important. It's very important for everybody to understand that आपके इस वक्त आपके clinic में, it is economically better for you to start being known as an elderly friendly physician. I was discussing with Dr. B.B. Gupta the other day the challenges that standalone clinics are facing. And one of them was that we can present ourselves as something alag se. And one of that areas is elder friendly services. So it's very important. And there was a question, a suggestion by Dr. Mudgil about rice being an option. Reason, idea of disease, concern, and expectation. I've replied to him that we can take this up in our workshop. Dr. Vora has said, asked Professor Jugal that elders who, despite having hearing aids and who still have certain hearing difficulties, how will you try and communicate with a person who has hearing disorders?
Yeah, we always try to actually communicate by our verbal, statements. And when the elderly has a hearing problem for a long period, he understands through many other methods. And we try to, just speak to him. And then we become very irritated that person is not listening and not understanding me. So it is we to understand that he's not listening, he's hard to listen. So there are other methods by which, sign language and other methods by which you can communicate with the person. You can you have to listen, the body language. Where is the problem? What he wants to say? That is what we have to learn. And we have to see that whether this hearing aid is not functioning because of minor problem of the battery, or maybe, some improvement is required, which you can always advise to see the hearing expert, which can solve the problem. Otherwise, they think that machine is given and that is all, but that require repair every time, some kind of, things are required. So if we do that, I think we can solve the problem.
So two things. One thing can be a technical problem. One thing can be a technical problem with the machine. And second, what Professor Jugal has said, that over a period of time, those elders who have hearing difficulties do adopt themselves to learn more of sign language, or many of them can come along with an attendant. That happens because unko bhi pata hai ki hame thoda sa difficulty hai. So I think that is more important, that we first as doctors understand कि उनकी demands अलग है. So we have to update ourselves और अपने आप को उस position में लाइए that we are able to satisfy them. And if that
लोगों की problem बाकी लोगों से अलग होती है.
That's right.
ये देखने की चीज है.
That's right. That's
तुम
right.
कैसे बोल रहे हो, उसकी बात पे कितना ध्यान दे रहे हो, तुम्हारी बात सुन भी रहे हो, सुन रहे हो.
That's right.
उसको जब आएगा तो शुरू से शक रहेगा, डॉक्टर मेरी बात सुनेगा नहीं सुनेगा, मेरे को दवाई ठीक देगा देगा. तो उसकी बात सुन के दवाई देने से पहले एक बार दोबारा रिपीट कर दो, बाबा तुम्हारी ये समस्या है ना, तब चल के हाँ मेरी बात सुन तो ली है इसने, ये
Right.
समझ तो गया मेरी दिक्कत क्या है।
That's important.
कई वो
I think
कई
what I'll
उनकी
invite.
अपनी परिवार की समस्या है, बच्चे ध्यान नहीं देते, बच्चे देखते नहीं, दवाई देते, वो भी उनकी बात सुननी जरूरी है।
Right. Thank you. I think what is
गुड़िया
important
आती है
is
नमकीन वाली,
I invite the
मैं तो मर जाऊं,
physicians to.
मैं तो
Thank
मर
you
जाऊं,
very much. Sir, thank you. I
बच्चे
think what
सुनते
is
ही नहीं।
important is that I invite physicians, all the doctors here. We want to first hold a workshop for about 15 people, because that would be the number Professor Jugal would be comfortable with to communicate. Because as many people, you'll have many questions and suggestions coming up. So it's important that we hold our first workshop within the next 2 weeks on these two topics alone: elderly friendly services, requirement, communication, and assessment of the elder. So on these two issues, we would like to hold a workshop. All doctors who are willing to attend this workshop, it's going to be free of cost. And you may please register your names with Dr. Deepika. You may reply, you may send an SMS to me. We will arrange the workshop in the next about 2 weeks' time with the faculty, and maybe a 2-day workshop on 2 afternoons, and then see how things work out, because this is all a trial basis that we are doing. So with these few words, I think Dr. Bibi Gupta wanted to say some. I would invite Dr. Bibi Gupta to say a few words. Dr. Gupta?
So probably he's busy.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, anyway. So I think with this short presentation, it's more of a stage 2 from our sensitization. And I thank
Dr.
first-
Dr. KK Jain, he wanted to speak, he had raised it.
Yeah,
hand.
please go ahead, Dr. Jain.
He had raised his hand.
Okay. No.
Okay, that was earlier.
So on this, I like to first extend my thanks to Jackson Pal Pharmaceuticals for supporting this. Yeah, Jaya, would you like to say anything, please? Dr. Jaya Kapoor?
I want to say something. Hello,
Yes.
Dr.
Yes.
Grewal. I'm
Yes.
Dr. Kandra. Can I
Yes,
give
General,
a point?
yes, General Sir. Yes, General Sir.
Geriatric patients, those
Please.
who are 65 and above, they are known as in the phase of second childhood. Their symptoms are like children, they are different than the adults. They may have urinary infection, they may have pneumonia, but they will not have fever. So
That's
it
right.
is you as a physician interested or involved in the geriatric care, who can suspect? Other will say he has got negligity, could be a meningitis. It may be cervical spondylosis only. So their presentation is different, because I don't see what the mind doesn't know. I don't see what the mind doesn't think. This thinking process can be enhanced by the person who is expert on this. One suggestion at this stage I would give, we must also incorporate Dr. S.K. Sharma, geriatrician who is working nowadays in Apollo. He is the known person in the country as a geriatrician. I feel he will be too happy to come and give suggestion here. Because their symptomatology is entire. What Dr. Jugal Kishore said, this is okay for undergraduate youngsters to know how to examine from top to bottom. If he knows it, and we as doctor know it, how quickly we can finish it. But we must also know how to decipher the symptoms of the elderly patients who are not obvious to the common young doctors.
That's right. Thank you, General Sir. Thank you, General Sir, for your words of wisdom. We are all.
Dr. Grewal, may I add something?
Yes, Dr. Gandhi.
We at NDMC Hospital are doing audiological assessment of everybody. You are free to send the patients to our hospital also. We are doing audiogram and everything. And hearing aid is being provided by NDMC as well as by CGHS people free of cost to the elderly and even to the other persons. There are certain rules by which retired employees, they can get hearing aid through CGHS or NDMC. And these services are provided at our hospital free of cost.
What about non-NDMC patients?
Non-NDMC people, whatever services we are doing free of cost, but they will have to pay for the hearing aid.
Hearing. Okay. Now, thank you so much. That's wonderful. Because here, getting a hearing test done for a patient, you see, that is what General Kalra has said, and same Dr. Gandhi and Professor Jugal Kishore. Unki requirement alag hai, which we have to recognize. That's important.
Nowadays, we have got very good hearing aids, and
Right.
which are powered hearing aids and other hearing aid, bone anchored hearing aids. So the patients will be satisfied most of the times. But there are certain limitations that we will be able to tell them.
Right.
In case it is there.
Right. Dr. Praveen Mudgil, you would like to say something, please? I've got
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Dr. Praveen Mudgal, working here in HPCL Refinery.
Yes,
I
please.
would just like to share with the mnemonic which I have shared. When I was in CMC Vellore, the mnemonic was RISE. Reason of the patient to come, what are his ideas, what are the concern, and what are the expectation. So at that time we were taught, like, if you will ask and if you will clarify these patient to the geriatric patient, definitely will solve our problem. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Mudgil, I had announced what you had said, the RISE to me. And Dr. Jay Kapoor has talked about elder abuse. Dr. Jay Kapoor, you have brought up a very important issue, because elder-friendly services, the physician is supposed to identify abuse. He's supposed to look for physical injury marks on the patient. This is by law. That's what Dr. Jugal Kishore was saying. Hum elder abuse pe, we can take up a separate session next time on how to recognize. In fact, first of all, what is elder abuse and how to recognize elder abuse. We'll take up a separate session. Thank you, Dr. Kapoor, for picking it up.
All right.
Thank you so much for your suggestion. So I think we'll end here. I would like to extend a vote of thanks to Jackson Pal, especially personally to Dr. Deepika, who takes pains to get us all together on one platform, organize all the emails, etc. Organizing such a session takes effort, and I must thank you, Dr. Deepika, for arranging it for us. My special thanks to my faculty, Mr. Nisar Ahmed, Professor Jugal Kishore, and Dr. Pramod Gautam. And a special thanks to, they are not just faculty, they are they are the souls behind this entire movement. And as all of you understand, this is an absolutely new challenge that we have taken up, but we will go ahead with this because physicians are getting interested in updating themselves. And Professor Jugal Kishore has been a teacher to us, so he's junior, but he's our guru. So that doesn't, age is no criteria. His knowledge is more than us. And a special thanks to Dr. Gami for his sparing his time to start the session. And a very, very warm thank you to all of you who have joined in and expressed your interest in providing elder-friendly health services. So thank you very much. So nice of you to join. And very soon we'll be coming up in 2 weeks' time. Dr. Pramod, we had decided the next session would be
11th.
11th of February. So the next session we are going to have on 11th of February, we will be talking about the topic, and before the, maybe the workshop is held after the 11th of February. So please let us know your areas of interest, but every physician, irrespective of what specialty you're conducting, you may be a neurosurgeon, you may be a general physician, you may be a gynecologist, but providing elder-friendly health services is not only, as Professor Jugal Kishore has said, it is not only humane, it is ethical, it is legal. Therefore, it's important because remember, getting appropriate services by a patient is his legal right. That's important. So we got to look after that. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining. And we meet again on the 11th of February. Deepika,
Sir,
thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody present here today with us. And without your support, this kind of meetings cannot go on. And we would like to continue to have such important discussions being held at least once a month, every month, if not more. And sir, if at the end we would like to take a small picture of everybody, if I could request everyone to switch on their videos and we could click a photograph of all the attendees
Sure.
together.
And don't worry, we won't publish your bad looking faces also. जल्दी कर लो नहीं तो
Yes, sir,
जितने
we are done. We are done. हो गया.
नहीं ये जितने जितने लोग हैं they are all models in their own right. ये आपसे पैसे मांग लेंगे फोटो खिंचवाने के.
So thank you very much to everybody for being here today. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay,
Garewal.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.